I'm in Fort Lauderdale. Woohoo!
And what's funny is even when you live down here, did
We-
we do any shows together?
I don't think so.
I don't know that we
because
did
we were always busy doing 100 things at 100 miles an hour. But we are having cacao together. I feel like cheers.
In our lovely, we'll give a pitch for Cheryl Brown, who made
Yes.
these amazing.
So gorgeous.
Yeah, I feel like calling it feels more like a bowl than a cup.
Well, I love that you can hold it like this because you can really feel the warmth and you can just kind of feel your drink and not just drink your drink.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It creates a whole new layer of the experience of cacao. And I laugh because I have them here. I could use them every day if I wanted to. And I don't, but I guess it makes it more special.
Yes, and I do love switching out my mugs depending on my feelings. So yeah. I feel like this is more like ceremonial. Like
Yes.
it's more I don't know, it's just different than the daily dose for me, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Anyway, I don't know if I know you normally put milk in yours, and so you're having my watered version today, but it tastes extra special today.
it does. It's very sweet. It's very
Just
nice.
because you're here.
But maybe. Lord knows. Vanessa Seltzer coming in with I miss it when I don't have it. I hear you, girl. I hear you.
Yeah. There's occasions when I don't get it, and I'm like, how can I do this day? I didn't have my cacao.
Oh, I will say sometimes I do take a break. Like I've had like a week-long break, you know, just kind of like as a reset. I've done that as well. So the good news is that you can make your cacao practice whatever you want, you know?
Absolutely.
So anywho. Well, now we can't talk about the weather in Murphy because we're here. So for reporting for those back in Murphy, it is hot as fuck here, just so you know. Yeah.
It is not. It's very reasonable. And I suspect that my assessment of that has a lot to do with all the sweat lodges that I've done. And I kind of want to talk about sweat lodge we had this Sunday because we had a visitor come and lead an all women's sweat. So Dr. Kelly lives up in New York, and she's an naturopath, acupuncturist, and you know, she's followed the indigenous ways for many years. And so she leads sweat lodges. And so we had an all women sweat lodge this Sunday. And I'm not saying that I'm not anti-man, and I love like our co-ed sweat lodges. I love the sweat lodges that Chief leads for us. They are incredible. But there was just something extra special and different about having just a group of women in that sweat lodge together. We did have two men that came to tend the fire and lift the rocks into the sweat lodge for us. So it was beautiful to receive that support from the masculine, but the energy inside was palpably very different. And you know, there were 4 of us women that are from, I'll say, our community, and then the rest of the women were in there were friends of the woman leading the sweat. She was down here. One of her good friends from college is getting married for the first time at age 50.
Beautiful.
And so they came down and did the whole bachelorette thing and everything. And then Sunday morning, she led the sweat ceremony. And it was just so powerful, but in a kind, loving, gentle way. And I just want to share one of, you know, I receive downloads all the time, but when I'm putting myself in a more special circumstance, a more sacred circumstance, it happens much more readily than just on an average daily, you know? So, but I was sitting in there having this realization, and it's just, I can't even describe how it comes to me. It's not just like a thought. It's just like this powerful wave coming through me and experiencing how, like, I was feeling myself being a child of parents who didn't make me feel wanted and needed and loved, and recognizing the people in my life who didn't have that, you know, because I say that all the time. I had perfect parents. so blessed, and um, they always made me feel needed, wanted, loved, and but realizing that so many people don't. And then it was like, okay, this is part of the healing journey that I'm supporting people with, is getting people to realize that regardless of what somebody else might think about you, humanity needs you, humanity wants you, humanity loves you. And because each and every one of us have a very special gift that humanity needs. You maybe not have uncovered it yet, but it's in there and we need it. And humanity will not be the same without you. And then on top of that, I was like, okay, what else can I do to help support that awakening in humanity, that everyone realizes that they're needed, wanted, loved? And the answer back was that even though you mostly know that you're needed, wanted, and loved, you know you have doubts sometimes too. And you get to erase your doubts so that others can erase their doubts.
Yeah. It reminds me of this book that I'm reading now. It's called The Four Winds. Um, the same person, Alberto Violodo, who wrote The Shaman, Healer, Sage, and who was talking about, in this one particular section, talking about how they taught the shamans that he went to study with, taught him that Mother Earth, Pachamama, right, Gaia, is your mother. And so if you have that mother hunger, if you have that childhood that wasn't quote unquote ideal, it's okay, because you can receive all the mothering you need to receive from the earth itself. We are created from the stars, we return to the stars, we come from light, we return to light. So it was really it was comforting, and it was like, oh man, like, why didn't I think of that? Like, and I think that's one of the things that I find so comforting is, we keep saying, and I say it just as much to myself as I do to our audience, you have everything you need already inside of you. And one of the ways that I know this is that every time I read a book that blows my mind, I'm like, of course, that makes total sense. Why didn't I think of that? Like, I knew this already. I just didn't, we talk about having an awareness of something or an intellectual understanding of something as compared to having a internal realization of something. And so when I say mother, it could be father, it could be whatever it felt like you were lacking in your life, it's there in the earth. I mean, you could literally rebirth yourself through the earth. So it has been a really cool and interesting read. Picking up lots of cool new little rituals to add to my day and things like that. So yeah.
So the final piece of the story that I want to add is, I know that, and I have to stop saying this. Like, it's horrible that I say this because it's just
interesting.
It gives in, but I struggle to bring the words to what I want to communicate. Because everything comes to me like in frequency and vibration, and then like I feel it in my heart, in my soul, but then to express it into words to other people that allow them to understand it at the level that I feel it has been really difficult for me. So sometimes I feel like I struggle to share with people because like it'll come out wrong, and then they'll be like, ah, and I'm like, but that's not how I meant it. Like let's regroup here and try again. But anyway, in that ceremony, there's all these women there that don't know me, have never heard me speak or anything. And what I didn't know was that Dr. Kelly, who was facilitating it, asked me to speak during the spotlight. And I was like, I didn't know I was going to have to speak. And then and it just instantly came to me, you need to share that message with the people in here. So I shared it with them. And before we left the sweat lodge, two of them expressed their gratitude, like, thank you so much for sharing that message. It hit it hit my soul very powerfully. And then even before these women were leaving my house, every single one of them came and once again said they appreciated so much that message that I shared, and it really hit home for them and meant a lot to them. And so it was like there I was receiving the confirmation again to just release all the doubts about what I have to offer the world and keep sharing it. And not, it's not going to resonate with everybody. It's not, you know,
Well,
not
you have to
everything
be
is
ready to receive the
exactly.
message, right? But you know, again, with the book, see, this is why I never have time to read like trashy novels, because I'm always trying to read books that are like teaching me something. I've always felt that there's one line or one paragraph or one page in a book that's absolutely going to change my life, and so far I'm not wrong. Going back to childhood, like I still remember poems I read when I was 6 that still mean something to
Wow.
me. But and I know we know this because we've done this in personal development workshops and things like that, but we so have to continuously remind ourselves. And you know, side note, never trust a coach who doesn't have a coach, right? Like never trust a teacher who isn't always learning. So I'm always learning. And it's take your phrase, you know, take your sentence of what you think you need and flip it, right? So I will be happy when I have money. Flip it. When I am happy, I will have money, right? When I have things in abundance, I will feel fulfilled. No, when I'm fulfilled, I will feel things in abundance, right? So for you, like, you know, when I speak, I want people to understand me. Like when you speak, people will under. Did I do that right? No one understands me. You know what I'm trying to say. You with me, right? You're with me. You're with me.
I'm with
Like,
you,
flip
and
it.
we'll
Like,
we'll figure out my statement.
yeah,
Um,
because I think it's the kind of thing that you just got to do,
Yeah.
right? And then
absolutely.
you know somebody will hear it, and
Also, I was like sharing that as well, so that people know that I'm still on the journey. I don't have it all figured out. You know, um I struggle with things just like everybody else does, and I work on them, and you know, and I tell people too, like even when you're doing the growth, the healing, all of that, you also can take breaks from doing it as well. Like it doesn't have
Sure.
to be a constant, ongoing thing. But
you need time to integrate.
yes, and it's not a destination; it's a journey.
Mhm.
And we've been completely off topic from our how do you balance giving and receiving in relationships, which I think is an important topic that because we're in my healing space here where I see people one on one, and uh, there is so much that happens in this room and that comes out in this room. But a very common thing that people talk about is I'm always the one giving. I'm always, and one thing that I've learned personally from myself is oftentimes when we are the ones that's always giving is because we are not receiving. Like receiving isn't a passive thing. Receiving, giving and receiving are both verbs. And you know, a lot of times when you think you're not receiving, it's because you have expectations of what people are going to give to you and what that's going to look like. And um, like just receive all the abundance that the universe provides for you. And if you receive something that you don't actually want yourself, like you can then give that forward to somebody else. You know, I was thinking about the 5 love language was when we're talking about giving and receiving, and um, I like my love languages are acts of service and physical touch. Like hug me a million times all day. I'm down for all of that. And yeah, when someone takes their time to do something for me, that just like moves me in such a powerful way. And I know a lot of people whose love language is gifts. You brought me a gift today that I love. But also like the gift that you gave me also speaks to the fact that you know me and you put thought into giving it to me. So it's something that I actually do want. But I used to have like, oh, this person doesn't even know me and didn't even think about, and like I erased the love that they were trying to express to me by giving me something. And I like totally switched that. Like now, anytime anybody gives me anything, whether I want it or don't want it, like it or don't like it, I just remind myself this person is trying to express love to me and I receive it with grace. And the other thing, like if you're struggling to receive what you want from someone really important in your life, maybe you need to sit down and communicate about what your love languages are.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I know my boyfriend's love language is words of affirmation. I know it. And I laugh. Like I because I know that's his love language, I try and make sure all the time that I
You're
say thank you and I
verbalizing.
verbalize this. And one of the way he shows me love, his act of service for me, is making most of our meals and doing the grocery shopping for us. And I try every time that he cooks to like, thank you, this was delicious, da 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 da. But every once in a while, like this hectic, and I'm just eating because I gotta eat and I gotta get on to the next thing. And sometimes I forget, and he'll come and he'll be like, "Didn't you like it? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?"
Yeah.
and so, but I know that, and so I make an effort to do that for him.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I've been talking a lot.
I'll tell you how this shows up in my life, both on the receiving and my allowing it. But um, my family dynamic, we have it so dialed into what each person needs. And it was getting there was a matter of awareness, like taking the time to pay attention and to recognize how the other person is showing up. So, for example, my daughter, she's very much physical touch. So you know, like the other day I was like, you know, I'm the mom, I'm always running around, I'm running a business, I'm doing all the things. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna oh, Tracy Samples, oh man, I get this, Julietta, yeah, totally. So anyway, the gift I gave her was like, okay, I'm gonna give you some time. And I laid down on the couch and I was like, come on. And she was like, oh, I get to lay down on mom. And I'm like, have at it. Come on. I'm going to give you 10 minutes of this. So she literally just laid on top of me for like, she's like, I can put my full body weight. I'm like, go for it, girl. Like, I'm fluffy. There's plenty of space. And she just laid on me for like 10 minutes, you know? And to her, that was like 6 years worth of love. You know what I mean? That was so amazing for her, especially because I'm always busy and running around and stuff like that. And, you know, at some point, like I know this is gonna make every mom cry, so you know, alert,
Grab your
trauma
tissue.
alert, yeah. There's that one meme that's like, shit, I'm gonna cry. That you don't realize when the last time is that you pick up your child. You know, like there's one day that they're little and you pick them up, and then one day it's the last day and you just don't know it anymore. You know, like it's like the last M&M in the bag. Like had you known that was the last one, you would have savored it a little bit more. So anyway, the modern version of that for my kids that are 16 years old and way too big is that you can lay down and they can lay down on top of you. But anyway, so for me, I'm an acts of service person as well. Like I love flowers and I love cards and you know little gifts and things like that. But honestly, just like go put gas in my car, go to the grocery store for me. Like those are the things. And so my family has that dialed in. You know, my kids create menus. My boyfriend goes to the grocery store. The kids come home and cook the meals. Like I'm completely out of the food prep cycle, except to remind everybody, which apparently is their love language because I remind them of everything all the time. But whatever. But you know, it's really interesting, you know. But on the receiving side, and I will say this has always been my Achilles heel. Probably some childhood trauma, something or another, you know, about being independent and all that sort of thing. And you know, and then as you get older, being independent is very much reinforced, right? Like, wow, you're such a strong woman. How do you do it all? Da 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 da. So then it becomes my identity. And now, you know, after so many years of that kind of behavior, like like nobody wants to offer you the help because I have pushed it away so much that I'm like, no, I got it. No, I got it. No, I can do it. And I'll tell you, one day I remember, this is back when I used to have two little dogs. I would go to the store to buy dog food, and the bag of dog food was like 40 pounds or something like that. And I would pick it up and throw it over my shoulder and walk out the door. And one day, the next day at work, I was like, man, you know what? There was this guy there and he didn't even offer to pick up the bag. Like he didn't even offer to help me take it to the car. And my guy friend, he looked at me and he's like, well, did you seem in distress? He's like, if you look like you got it and you're not open to receiving the help, how would anybody even offer it to you? So this is definitely one of the areas that it is a lifelong project for me to figure out for myself, is like, how do I sit in the vulnerable space that it takes to create the opportunity for someone to even offer. Forget me asking, like that's a whole nother level. Me asking for help, that's a whole nother level. But even
another show.
That's another show. But even creating the space for someone to feel like, hey, let me offer this to you, right? Thank God, I'm about to celebrate 20 years with my boyfriend. Yes, we're not married, we're living in sin. He's my boyfriend. It's very cute when you say it like that. It's much hotter, but but now he knows that, like, he doesn't even offer. He's like, I'm taking your car, I'm changing the oil, I'm doing the thing, I'm da 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 da. Do you know what I mean? Or like when I pull up into a gas station, my son gets out of the car and he pumps the gas for me, and I'm cool with that. Like honestly, I feel great. I feel like a princess. So yeah, if you want to love me, please come put gas in my car. I appreciate it.
And also, this topic is about balancing. And I think that there's, math and science have taught us that like balance is 50-50. And truly in this world, balance is not 50-50. Some people need to give more. Some people need to receive more. And it's going to be different in each relationship. And so sometimes the balance sorts out in that I give you much more than you give me, but then this person over here gives me much more than I give them. And so like the balance sorts itself out over space and time. And
I think there's a seasonality to it as well, right? Like sometimes you're the sick partner who needs the extra attention. And sometimes, and it doesn't have to be partner, right? This could be in your job. This could be anywhere in your life, right? Sometimes you happen to be the person with the most knowledge, the one that can jump in and solve the problem, and you do. And then the next time around, somebody's got to rescue you, So, yeah.
Tracy's there, tuning into all the show, which we love.
Thank you, Tracy. And thank you, Pam. I see a comment from Pam there as well.
Yes. She's sending us an from one sound bath person to another.
There you go. And so I would just like to end on, or at least this section, on saying that this is an active practice. Like you said, these are verbs. These are things that we have to consciously practice and give yourself grace. It is called a practice for a reason. The good news about giving and receiving is that you never have to feel bad or guilty about either, So
correct. And again, the room and what happens in here, this conversation has come up a couple times with a person feeling like they are, hi Jill, but they are always the person reaching out to people, and like they feel bad that no one ever reaches out to them. But the feedback that they get when they reach out to these people is, oh, thank you so much for reaching out. It means so much. And, sometimes people aren't doing the giving because they're afraid of rejection. And so that can be really difficult for some people. So there may be people out there that love you so much and want to give to you, but they're afraid to. And so you get to be a safe space for someone to give to.
I love that. So many times, and I know it comes up in this project that we've been working on for so many years, sometimes who do we have there?
This is my friend Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
So back in the day, Carrie used to work with me, and we've been talking recently. She needs one of our rituals.
Carrie, come on, girl. Her comment says, for those of you listening, you women are beautiful. Thank you. It's the good light, by the way. Thank you for the messages this morning. I can't wait to attend one of your retreats this year. Well, perfect timing. June is coming up. But anyway, so, practice, allowing it, creating it. And I promise you, if there's one thing I know for sure, is that sometimes you think all the effort you're putting into the world doesn't make a difference, or no one's listening anyway, or if I died today, would anybody even notice? Or, for me, I've had those lessons a lot in my life. When I was at one of my old jobs, I was like, I felt so guilty quitting. I was like, what's going to happen when I leave? Like, what if it all falls apart? Literally nothing happened. When I was, working with the Women's Council at the Chamber, like I loved everything that we got to put together. And I was like guilty about leaving. I was like, man, what if I leave? Like, is it ever, can they do without my spreadsheet? Yeah, literally nothing happened. Leaving South Florida, my family, my friends, what's going to happen? My business, my kids, this and that, but literally nothing happened. Like everything goes on.
Life goes on.
Yeah. But what's really cool is that each of those places where I kind of like made a mark, I don't know, for better or for worse, a scar mark, I don't know. But people remember and people say thank you and people say that was really cool and great and sometimes not so great, but I'm only human. I'm okay with that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, give yourself grace and know that as long as you're living authentically, that is my word for the lifetime, authentically, you're doing the right thing. And you keep talking until you find your audience. That's really it.
One other piece that was coming to me as you were speaking, sometimes too, like, if you don't feel imbalance in giving and receiving, you might be in the wrong relationships. And, this is something that happens a lot as people are healing and growing. You outgrow or you shift that you're not in alignment with the people that are around you. And sometimes you just need to find a new tribe so that you can have that balance of giving and receiving. And I speak to that because that's a lot of the mission of Body and Soul Ministries, is to create community that's a safe space of like-minded people that are heart-centered and want to grow and want to heal. And I invite you, if your current community isn't suiting you or you don't have a community, we are a safe space. I don't know what a space is, but we're a safe space to come and connect and receive and give.
Yeah.
And
it's easy, every practice that we do is a practice of choice. We always explain everything from, the beginning to the end. Nothing ever gets thrust upon you. No one says, here, eat this, like it's not Alice in Wonderland. Nothing happens, and it's really just about tapping into your heart. It's really about being balanced. It's about being authentic. That's really our entire mission, is to create spaces where people can feel like being themselves, without any judgment. So, for everything that means, you are welcome. And I mean welcome, not like you're welcome. Maybe that too. So, do you want to talk about the retreat really quick?
Yes, really quick, because we are getting, we're getting closer to deadline for when you need to get signed up by. And
I have show and tell.
You have show and tell.
I'm digging.
She has show and tell. So it is 4 days in the Blue Ridge Mountains, Georgia, at Elohi. And one thing I love is the building that we are staying at in this retreat sanctuary. It's called the Thanksgiving House.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes. I love that they named it that. And because it is so much about being grateful.
Um, and it is within viewing distance of a 100-foot waterfall. It has like 4 miles of trails for all of you physical enthusiasts that like to get up early and hike. You have access to 200 acres. And for those of you that just want to rest and retreat, there's plenty of time for that as well. I'm really excited about all the things that we have planned.
Absolutely. And, so speaking, you spoke about how Earth is our mother, Pachamama, Gaia. This retreat, we are really connecting with the elements. And for sure, the elements have been part of my, I don't even know what to call it. It's been a part of my life for so many years because the elements are part of so many traditions, not just Native American traditions. It's part of Chinese medicine, it's part of astrology, it's part, it's everywhere. And the more and more I connect to it, the more powerful they support me. And so we're really going into, you don't need any background in this. This is beginner level appropriate. But even if you do have some connection to it, I'm sure we will present things to you or new ways of looking at these things. But when you learn how to use the elements to support you, it's just another level up in your growth, your healing.
Well, and what I love about working with the elements is the elements are free. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like these are practices that are not based in any particular religion, right? And you don't have to believe in any particular thing other than your own ability to connect and your own ability to create ceremonies and rituals and things that help you move forward in your own life. So I always say, whether you feel like a hot mess and you just need to like gather all your shit together, this retreat is for you. If you feel like you're at the top of your game and you're like, man, I've accomplished everything I want to accomplish. I got the house, the yacht, the dog, the kids, all the things, but there's more, and there's always more. So that retreat is for you too. Yeah, maybe you'll get those Ginsu knives after all. How old am I? Anyway, I'm also excited because I'm going to bring all my instruments, which is going to be phenomenally interesting. Get there early if you want to see me hike that up 3 flights of stairs. But I'm bringing the gong. I'm bringing the bowls. We're doing the sound bath. I'm also leading a guided forest therapy experience as well. So if you've never had that opportunity, it's really cool. It is not aimlessly wandering through the forest, which is a beautiful practice, strictly forest bathing. That's incredibly wonderful, just as is. But guided forest therapy is kind of like next level. It's guided for a reason. I won't spoil it more than that. I won't say it. And we have fire ceremonies and water ceremonies and lots of other little special things. So I'm really excited about this one. We have a handful, I think, of beds left. I want to say maybe like 3 or 4. So if you want in, definitely now is the time, because when we're sold out, we're sold out. This is not an Airbnb. It's not the type of place that you could like bring a cot and throw it on the floor. It doesn't work like that. It's very coordinated. The chef has to prepare the particular meals that we're looking for. They can accommodate anything, vegan, vegetarian, allergies, things like that. So really, any question that you guys have, ask us, because I mean, we've got every base covered. So yeah. All right.
So show.
Ready for show and tell?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I showed this in the last episode, but I had showed the prototype for my inspiration card deck. So over a cacao high one day, I just started writing. I just, for lack of a better term, received a transmission, if you will. And so I started writing down messages that I thought, not that I thought, messages that people need. That's how that came to me. And so I thought the coolest way to put that out there is to create a deck of cards. So I've got these cards right here that we created. My friend Gabby is my graphic designer, and they did an amazing job. I know you probably can't see the words because of the light or whatnot, but anyway, So on each of these, there are messages. And so every day or whenever you feel the need, you can just pick one out and flip it over and see what it says. You can overcome anything. That's the message for today. Isn't that appropriate for me?
Absolutely.
Did I not walk in here complaining about everything under the sun? Interesting. Interesting. So I'm just saying, when you focus on it, when you allow the messages to come through, you will find messages that absolutely serve you. So I did bring a whole bunch. I've got tons and tons of them here. We're going to have some here at our Florida location, and I'm going to have some in the Murphy location, and we'll have it up on the website as well, so you can just order it online. And yeah, and for those of you with eagle eyes, down here it says volume 1. You know what that means. How many volumes will there be? Wait and see. Yeah. So anyway, I'm super excited. We've got that. We've got the journal. Hold on.
There is one right there.
There is one right here. I love being in this space with you. Like, right? It's so fun. I have access to everything. So this is our Living Aligned guided journal. We're all about the guidance, you see? And so inside you have got multiple days. On each day you have a question for journaling. We've got some inspired quotes in there to kind of push you through. We've got little guideposts along the way where you can kind of stop and check in with yourself. And it's really just a beautiful, if I do say so myself, I designed this one.
Yes.
You know, it really just kind of helps you reflect, check in with yourself, and help you find your authenticity. You know, I don't know about you, but like sometimes I just feel so numb to everything that I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going. I don't even know what I'm doing. What is my purpose here? And I kind of got to start all over again. And a tool like this really, really helps me refocus and go through it.
And help, like for me, the words that are popping in my head right now is erase the programming, because so many are walking around being who they think they should be, who they were told they should be. And I'm always like, stop shooting on yourself. But then when I ask people like who they are, what they actually want, they don't know. They're like, I don't know. I don't know. If I take away all the stuff that I don't want, I don't know what's left. And this is a perfect place to start to actually get to know your true self. We got so many messages coming in today. I love this. Pam, we can overcome anything. You can overcome anything. We all can. We all can. And Lena here.
And Lena. Hi, Lena.
Hi, Lena. We need to see you again, Lena. I'm waiting for you to show up again.
She needs to come to our retreat.
She should come to our retreat. I'm telling you,
this is one of these life-changing retreats. And to be honest, like the price that we put it out there for is so reasonable. I say this because of the thousands of hours, well, not thousands, but hundreds of hours that we have put into preparing for it, and all that we are going to create while we're there. I forget what number retreat this is for us. Maybe like 5, 7, somewhere around there. But
who's counting?
But this one, because it is in the mountains, we also have like a shuttle service already set up at a ridiculously bargain price. So many of our guests have already made their, I think all of them have made their airline reservations. You know, the earlier you get in, the cheaper your flight is. But it's all,
and it's nice because Atlanta is the hub where you would fly into, and yeah.
Oh, we totally get it, Lena. We totally get it. But you know, her comment, if I may, brings me back to the point that we made earlier about flipping the script, right? I will go if my schedule allows itself. But if you flip it and you say, I can't do it. Why can't I do it? In other words, if you say, I'm going to go, your schedule will open. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't look for the schedule to create the space. You go to your schedule, you create, you know, you say, I'm going. And I promise you, like magically, something will happen. Somebody will cancel an appointment, or for those of you that need childcare, some aunt will come by and say, "Oh, I've been meaning to spend time with little Jimmy. Can I watch him this weekend?" And this happens all the time. We have so many testimonials on our website and on our social media of moms just talking about the magic that happens when you just surrender. Anything that you want to level up in your life starts with creating the space for it. Nature abhors a vacuum. That has been such a guiding principle for me. When I wanted my business to be successful, I remember my mentor, this is 10 years ago, she said, "Well, do you have any space in your calendar for photo shoots?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm very busy." She's like, "So then where are people going to book?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't make the space for it." So then I went into my calendar and I started carving out days. Well, once I had an open day, everybody wanted to jump in that day, right? So it's the same thing with these retreats. Everything that we leave for later is the worst time frame in the planet because later never comes.
I tell people my Egypt story all the time that, I met Mary Lamando, my Egyptologist, who's become a dear friend over these years. And I think I knew her from the moment I met her, I knew I needed to go to Egypt with her. And every year, she would send me the flyer. This is the trip coming up, da da da. Every single time I'd be like, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. Because yes, going to Egypt is not cheap. Don't have the money. And all of a sudden, I'm like turning 50 years old and I still haven't been to Egypt. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so that year I decided I'm turning 50 this year. This is my birthday gift to me. I don't care how this happens, if I have to rob a bank, beg, borrow, steal. I was even putting prostitution on the possibility of like whatever it would take for me to get the money to go to Egypt. But I declared it. I put my deposit down. And like literally, it was like 3 or 4 weeks after I made this declaration and put my deposit down, an opportunity presented itself that earned me the exact amount of money that I needed to pay for the rest of my trip to Egypt. And so declaration is a powerful, powerful tool. And like that trip to Egypt crazy changed my life. I
think when you feel the call to it, it's already telling you that this is going to change your life.
Yes.
Right. You just got to get out of the way.
Right. And so, if your life isn't giving you 100% what you want, like you need to give yourself something like this to shift, to create the shift that's needed to manifest the life of your dreams. What else did they say?
And I am, there you go.
Absolutely.
And you know what kind of crazy planner I am. I plan everything out to the nth degree. So literally all you have to do is show up at the airport. That's it. If you show up at the airport, we will take care of the rest. So don't get mired in the logistics and how's it going to happen and what do I do and what's my time frame and all of that. Just make a declaration, reach out to us. We'll get your bed reserved and then buy your plane ticket. That's it. You do that, we'll take care of the rest. I'm reminded of another story I heard recently. Was a gentleman that was at a particular facility, and he was having dinner, but they didn't serve alcohol there, and he just thought, man, it would be really nice to have like a bottle of wine to go with this meal, but this facility doesn't serve wine, and I'm already in the middle of it. And about 3 minutes after he made that declaration, a student of his walked in and said, "Oh, Professor so-and-so, here's a bottle of wine I wanted to give you," like, so you really can't even begin to imagine how things will appear. You just have to know that they're going to appear. And I would love to empower all of you for that. So
we are both here in Fort Lauderdale right now. This is my healing space. This is where I work with people one-on-one on their healing journey, and it is a special magical space. So I invite you to come experience this. And I think we've been talking a lot today.
I know, but you know what? We're here together. This is
the energy of us being together. Which
the more we do these the more offerings we have, the more we want to tell you about them. So eventually we're gonna have to like catalog this or something. I don't know. But anyway, we have like 2 websites. It's all in there. And we're only growing every day. So to those of you listening, thank you so much. For those of you that have stayed on the whole time, extra special thank you. We appreciate you. And I'd love to see you all at the retreat. There is space for you in more ways than one.
All right. It's a wrap, people. I want to wish you all a magical day.
Take care.
Bye.